So, dear participants, we'll start the session within 3 minutes because some more participants need to add. So, kindly wait for 2 minutes. Yeah, we'll start the session. Participants will join later. So, welcome back to all participants. Today we have an expert, Dr. Gautam Karthik from N2 Technology Solution India Private Limited. So, he going to give lecture on IoT applications using LoRaWAN. Okay, Dr. Gautam Karthik sir, you can start the session.
Thanks, Dr. Dhanagopal. Thank you for your introduction. So that I will start the session.
Yeah.
Is my voice audible?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is audible. You can start.
Thank you. Good afternoon to one and all present here. Today we will discuss about IoT in terms of LoRaWAN communication. So past 1 week you have we all discussed with IoT as well as embedded system, and you may come across different communication methodologies and different topologies incorporated in the IoT. So today another 1 hour session is purely dedicated to LoRaWAN and the implementation stack as well as the application. So in order to start with this, we need to understand what is meant by IoT. But in this last 4 days, you have discussed enough definition for IoT, so that I will skip this slide and I will go to next slide. So we need to understand what is the IoT architecture. So what are the methodologies present in this era, and what is the emerging technology? So if you're taking IoT architecture, it is classified into 2 categories. One is existing system, another one is emerging technology. So emerging technology is an research purpose, still not yet implemented. So we will deeply discuss about the existing system. In case of any queries in this session, so you can post it in the chat box. At the end of the session, I will answer all your queries. Okay. So First one is direct integration pattern, another one is gateway integration pattern, and the third one is cloud integration pattern. So here in direct integration pattern, you can see WOT API. See, WOT API means web of things. That means the read key and the write key access will be present in the end node. That means at the thing or at the physical layer. And gateway integration pattern. In gateway integration pattern, again, the WOT is not at the present at the end node. It will be present at the middle layer. That means intermediate node, that is termed as a gateway. And in the third term, cloud integration pattern, web of things API will be available at the cloud side. Now we will deeply discuss about what is the practical hardware used for direct integration pattern, then gateway and cloud. Okay, if you are looking back a direct integration pattern, we can discuss with the example. So if suppose we have 20 acres of farming land, we can go with the agriculture use case, 20 acres or 30 acres of farming land. So I need to measure the soil moisture every 100 meters. So what is the consideration now? For every 100 meters, for 30 acres, we need to place a node. So if you are placing every 100 meters of 30 acres for 1 acre, it is nearly, we need 50, at most 50 nodes. So for 30 acres, 3 into 5, so 1500 nodes we need to deploy in order to get the soil moisture, right? So with this case study, we can go with what happens if you are going for direct integration pattern, what if you are going in terms of gateway integration pattern. So by looking this slide, in direct integration pattern, thing is nothing but your sensor. So either soil moisture sensor, DHT, that means a temperature sensor or humidity sensor or some other sensors is connected to the microcontroller or interfaced to the microcontroller. Then after interfacing to the microcontroller, what is the role of microcontroller? Data acquisition. So after the data we are getting or we are extracted from the sensor, what we are going to do means here from the microcontroller board onwards, we are going to transmit our data to the cloud. What is the possible solution from the end node? That means from the microcontroller board to pass the data to the cloud. So the possibility is using a GSM module, GSM or GPRS module. That means GSM or GPRS module also interfaced into that board, baseboard. So what happens here, after the data is getting from the microcontroller, we are passing with the help of GSM or GPRS module. Then with the help of the antenna, we are directly pushing our data to the cloud, right? So the available product in the market is SIM 900 GPRS or GSM module. The cost of the one module is 3,499 rupees. Roughly, we can take 3,500. Sorry. So here you can see that I will take a pen. Here you can see that you can connect the IO pins, number of input output here. That means your sensors. Suppose for agriculture, I need a soil moisture sensor. So I will connect a soil moisture sensor here. At the bottom of this, I have a microcontroller in order to get the data or extract the data. After extracting the data, with the help of this GSM module and with the help of the SIM card, I can able to transmit the data with the help of this antenna to the cloud. So what is the cost of this one? 3,500, right? Okay, for each and every module, what is the primary access? GSM module. So for incorporating the data services, we need to put the SIM card. So either 3G or 4G SIM card, right? So I have a query in terms of direct integration pattern. If I need to deploy every 100 meters soil moisture, so for 30 acres, it is roughly calculated as 1,500. So for 1,500, so okay, we will remove that 500 also. We can take 1,000 as the measure. For 1,000 deployments, for 1,000 nodes, we require how many SIM cards? Obviously, we require 1,000 SIM cards, right? So For one SIM card, we need to recharge every 3 months. Month on month is 399 rupees if you are using Jio. If you're roughly, we can take 400. So for every 3 months, we need to pay 400 rupees, and that too for 1000 nodes. That means 1000 into 400, again 40,000. Okay. So what is the initial cost of a deployment for one node? It is 3,499. That means 3,500. So if you are going to deploy for 1000 nodes, it is 1000 into 3,500. It is initial cost of investment is 3,50,000. Apart from 3,50,000, every 3 months we need to pay 400 rupees. So 1000 into 400, it is 40,000. So first time when you are deploying this project, your initial cost of investment is 3,90,000, right? But again, another query is there. What is the another query? For one proof, for one Indian citizen, maximum allowed SIM card is 5. Okay, but how can I get 1,000 SIM cards? So it is practically impossible to get 1,000 SIM cards, because in case of if you are going for a company proof, for CUG you can get 50 SIM cards. Maximum allowed SIM card is 50. So obviously for this kind of project, this is not a suitable solution. Okay, I think you have understand the direct integration pattern. Now we will go with the gateway integration pattern. In gateway integration pattern, here again the thing is nothing but, as I already discussed, one is temperature sensor and the soil moisture sensor, which is connected to a microcontroller. But in direct integration pattern, the board is itself has the facility in order to push our data directly to the cloud. But in gateway integration pattern, here instead of GSM or GPRS, that means using internet, any sort of wireless communication like Bluetooth, Zigbee, or some other wireless communication methodology, they are passing the data to the intermediate node. So what is the role of the gateway here? The gateway will collect the data from different nodes around the vicinity. That means around the signal area. Okay. Then the gateway will push the data to the cloud. Here what happens? So instead of 1,000 nodes, if you're taking 1,000 nodes here, 1,000 things are connected like this to one gateway. So how many internet connections required here? So from here to here, internet is not required. So only wireless communication, pure RF communication is required. So after the data is arrived at the gateway, only one internet connection is required. So from this, here we required for one module, we required one internet connection. Here for n number of modules, we required one internet connection. So obviously we are reducing n to 1. So 40,000 to 400. Okay, as well as the cost of the gateway integration pattern module, LoRaWAN development module, it is 2,700. Okay, so here 3,500. So if you are calculating for 1,000 nodes, it is 3,50,000. Here for 1,000 nodes, it is 2,70,000. Nearly we are reducing 80,000 in the initial deployment. And the second one is, so if you are going with the direct integration pattern, then for 1,000 nodes, 1,000 SIM cards, 40,000 rupees. Here only one SIM card. That means one internet connection is enough. So 400. So our initial cost of deployment is 2,70,400. That is the gateway integration pattern. So I will erase this one. Now the cloud integration pattern. So in cloud integration pattern, again, the thing is directly connected to the cloud. That means it is moreover like a direct integration pattern. So the cost wise also same. But in terms of implementation, cloud integration pattern is more costly, because here the web of things is located at the cloud. That means all the security algorithms like generating the keys and write API, read API, access keys, all this will be generated at the cloud. So since we are generating at the cloud, again for node side also it will be costly, and the end side, application side also it will be costly. That's why what the current market is preferring means gateway integration pattern. So n number of nodes without using internet can push the data to the intermediate node called gateway. Using the gateway, we can push our data to the end application server. So US, Europe, and Australia, as well as some of the other countries are working. Even India, we are all working in the gateway integration pattern. I think you clear about direct integration pattern, gateway integration pattern, and cloud integration pattern. Obviously, we have discussed that the things connected to the gateway using any sort of wireless communication. Now, we are going to deeply discuss about what are the possible wireless communication available, and we are going to study about its pros and cons, and finally we are going to check for this for the particular use case which communication technology will be suitable. So if you are taking a LAN, it is short range communication. Okay, so if you are taking under the LAN, the possible communication methods are Bluetooth, Zigbee, and Wi-Fi. So you are very clear about what is the range of Bluetooth, what is the range of Wi-Fi, as well as the data rate of the Bluetooth, as well as the Wi-Fi. If you are taking a Bluetooth, if you are going to transfer a song from one mobile to another mobile, then it should be around the vicinity of 10 meters. And the transfer rate also very less when comparing to the Wi-Fi. Okay. Then if you want to increase the range, distance, then obviously we can go for a cellular. Because if we are using a mobile, then it is covering in terms of kilometers, right? But the cellular also having a problem that it is not a battery operator. Why I'm telling the battery operator? Even our mobile is battery operated, you can claim. So what I'm insisting the point means you are charging your mobile up to 100%. So without touching, without using your mobile, but it should be in idle condition. That means switched on, but it should be in idle condition. How many days the mobile will withstand the 100% charge? Maximum 4 to 5 days. Why? Because it always interact in synchronization with the base station. So it will always check for any incoming calls are there, any incoming messages are there. So what happens due to this synchronization, the radios will emit. Due to the emission of radio waves, it will always discharge the battery. But in terms of IoT communication, what is a pure IoT means? It is a sensor to sensor communication or machine to machine communication. So machine want to pass such a data to the cloud. That's all. So it is just information in terms of bytes or KB. Okay. So for this transmission, I every time or every day I can't able to monitor. Once I deployed this mobile node, then it should be long last up to 3 years. At least 3 years I need to get the data from that mobile node. Okay, so battery is an important constant. That's why another segment called LPWAN, low power wireless area network, came into existence. So what is the objective of this LPWAN means? Long range. What is the range it will cover in terms of kilometers? If you're taking Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, it will range in terms of meters. But LPWAN specifically meant for to cover a distance of kilometer. Then low battery. Since it want to reach a long distance and it want to deploy, after deployment, we need to get a data at least 2 to 3 years. Then it always want to consume low power. That's why if it is consuming a low power, obviously it will operate in a battery. Okay. Then the data rate. Since we need to get the data for 3 years or 2 years, obviously the data rate will be less, because according to the law of physics, the range versus the distance, the range versus the data will vary. Okay, so if you are taking an example, in a class, since we are professor, we are taking a lecture on one topic like fixed bias or some sort of DC biasing, AC biasing. So if I want to teach in terms of dias, if I am in dias, if only first bench students are occupied, then what happens here? So what we will do means we will reduce our power, and in the same way we will increase our data rate because all are in the first bench. So if you are assuming 80 to 90 students are in a class and nearly 10 benches or 20 benches are there, then what we will do? We will increase our voice, increase our power, as well as decrease our speed of data transfer. Why? Because it want to reach up to the last bench. So in the same factor, LPWAN works, and in this technology, we will encounter two methods. One is Sigfox, another one is LoRa. If you are taking Sigfox, again, it is a third-party vendor. That means we always depend on a service provider. How? If you are, now we always depend on a Jio or else Vodafone or else Airtel in order to use their services, like for voice calling, for messaging, as well as for using the internet, right? So in order to use the services, either we are choosing Jio, Airtel, or some other service provider. In the same way, in order to transfer the IoT data, then what Sigfox will do means Sigfox also will erect the towers. In order to use the tower, we want to pay month-on-month rent. Okay, what is deviation from Sigfox for in comparison with LoRa? So in LoRa, we can create our own private network. So how we are going to create our own private network? So with the help of one gateway. So we want to buy one gateway. In that gateway, we will use any sort of internet provision like a LAN, Wi-Fi, or either one 3G or 4G SIM card. So wherever I am going, I can create my own private network. I should not depend on some third-party persons. That is the major objective of the LoRa. That's why LoRa plays a major role in terms of deployment. So maximum in terms of Netherlands, Amsterdam, as well as European countries, or as well as US, will fall under the LoRaWAN implementation. If you are going for Australia, then you can encounter the Sigfox. In India also, we are working with LoRaWAN, not Sigfox. So LoRa stands for Long Range Communication Protocol. So as we telling, it is a long range. It is in terms of kilometer, but we need to understand how much distance it will cover. So in city side, it will reach around 3 kilometer, and in village side, it will reach around 7 kilometer. Okay. Then low power consumption for one data transmission through the air, it takes less than 10 microampere. Okay. Since this is taking less than 10 microampere, it is battery operated. Then we are claiming that IoT. That means using internet, we are going to transfer the information. So always a security layer should be bound. Okay, if there is no, that too, it depends on the application. If you are going for agriculture application, okay, security is not that much important. But the same thing we are incorporating with the healthcare application. Obviously, security is very much essential. LoRa comes with 128-bit AES encryption standard. So open source and easy internet access. Open source means using our Arduino along with the LoRa Arduino Shield, we can start our own initial learning. Then we can go with some ST based advanced microcontroller, ARM Cortex M0, M3, M4. We can develop our own product. So this is the simple communication architecture using LoRaWAN. This should be looked from left hand side to right hand side. So here is the sensor nodes. So sensor nodes is nothing but our sensors which is connected here, then one microcontroller, then one radio module in order to transmit our data in terms of radio packets. Then here to here, it is LoRa communication. So LoRa communication is nothing but a pure RF communication. RF communication. So in what frequency it will able to transmit LoRa? According to India Telecommunication Regulatory Authority of India, a separate ISM band is fixed for LoRa communication. So now you can able to understand how Indian government is keen in order to develop this technology. Okay, so for India, it is 865 megahertz to 867 megahertz. Okay, so we may encounter that ISM band is nothing but 2.4 GHz for Bluetooth, Zigbee, or else Wi-Fi. Since that is a congested band, so for exclusively for low power communication, Indian government allocated 865 to 867. We have rights to transmit our signal in this frequency band. Okay. So after it is reaching to LoRaWAN gateway, LoRaWAN gateway always in part of receiving these signals in and around the vicinity. Okay. So after receiving the data, it will encode RF packets into IP packets. Since we are going to give the internet connection in this module, in this gateway. So the role of LoRaWAN gateway is converting RF packets into IP packets. After converting, it will reach the network server. So we all discussed about OSI layer model. So OSI layer model is nothing but 7 layers. Here the layer architecture is 3 layers: physical layer, network layer, application layer. So the role of physical layer is nothing but a physical device which are connected with some sensors. Okay, so up to here, it is a physical layer. And after the data is reached at the LoRaWAN gateway, then software application. From here to here, it is software layer. Okay, the role of the network layer is from which device, because we are connecting some 1000 sensors, right? 1000 sensors in and around the vicinity. From which sensor it is getting the data, whether from device 1, device 2, or device 100. Okay, then data deduplication, either false data is coming or dummy data is coming, whether it is changing the adaptive data rate and as well as the modulation, all this can be checked in the network server. As well as we are generating the keys, so those keys will be hard coded in the end node. So those keys should be matched, then only we can retrieve the data. Otherwise we can't able to retrieve the data. So I will clear this one and I will go to next one. So these are the few applications with the help of LoRaWAN gateway. So all the LoRaWAN, that means all the IoT applications can be done using the LoRaWAN. So I will go with one real-time field deployment. So you need to understand this project. The project name is Cultivate. So Cultivate means obviously the name itself indicates that it is an agriculture project. This is just a sample picture for understanding. So this is the original architecture for this project Cultivate. This is our custom development board for that project. Okay, so if you are looking this picture, you can able to see some of the ports available. Here we can connect sensors like a soil temperature sensor and a soil moisture sensor. After the sensors are connected, here you can see a microcontroller module. Inside this shield, we placed one microcontroller module as well as one radio module. So here the radio module is LoRa module. Okay. Then after the data is acquired, then it will be passed with the radio module, and with the help of this antenna, it will transmit the data. Then from here to here, it will reach the LoRaWAN gateway. So here it is termed as LoRa communication. After it is converting, it is fixed with WAN. That means wide area net, because it is converted into RF to IP packets. That's why LoRa WAN. Then it will reach the network server in order to check from which device getting the data and whether the dummy data is coming, as well as some there is a power inefficiency is there. All this can be checked, as well as the key. Then it will reach the application server. That means our end application. That means in our mobile we can see the data. If some sort of, if you're taking an example of again agriculture field, if you're measuring the soil moisture, if the soil is dry, then what happens? We need to switch on the motor. So all this analytics will be done in the application server. If the soil is dry, again the command will be done or passed from the cloud to the network server. Then it will reach the gateway. Then it will reach to this module. Then the pump will be switched on using the relay. This is the architecture of the project called Cultivate. By erasing, I will go to the next slide. This is the practical implementation of this project. If you're taking this as an example, this is 43 acres of the land which is located in Andhra Pradesh. The project is given by ITC. So the major stakeholders of this project is ITC, and you can see since I told ITC, you can able to clearly understand what type of crop this one. So the crop is tobacco. Okay, so what is their intention is using the using this type of precision agriculture, they need to increase the yield. So how after 3 months or 4 months, how they are getting the yield means they are classified into 3 categories. So the first category is how much greenery that leaves having and how broaden in size. Second category is somewhat the greenery will be less, and third category is very low quality. That means some sort of insect bitten, like that is termed as third category. So their aim is to create a class 1, because for 1 kg of leaves for class A, it is around 400 rupees. For class B, it is 200 rupees. For class C, it is 100 rupees. So after 3 months, if you are getting class C output, then what happens? It is our all efforts become wasted. Okay, so in this project, you can able to locate the hardware here. So whatever the hardware I shown here, that is packed, jam packed with the IP67 rating. Because if something rain happens, because it is open place, we need to ensure our hardware should work for at least 3 years. Okay, as per the commitment. So we need to care for the hardware, because since this is electronics, it is susceptible to environmental conditions. So inside it has a battery also in order to get the sensor values. Then soil moisture is connected via wire and it is located in the field. So usually what farmers will do means, farmer just will touch the surface of this land, and if he is feeling dry or if he is feeling wet, depending upon that he will take the decision. But here what is done means 6-point soil moisture. So every 1 meter we are measuring the soil moisture, because in depth also the soil will be dry, right? At the top of the layer only soil, sorry, in depth it will be wet, in top of the soil it may be dry. So unnecessary of passing the water also will damage the yield of the crop. Okay, that's why we are measuring this 6-point soil moisture. Then the average of that, according to the average, we are switch on the motor. Since again the motor is located at another field, like field 1, field 2, field 3, then all the field want to get the same quantity of water. That should be checked with flow meter as well as the solenoid. Okay, again, why LoRa is important in this application? Why can't we go for Bluetooth? Why can't we go for a Wi-Fi? Why we need to go for LoRa? So take an example of Wi-Fi. If you are taking a Wi-Fi, so every 100 meters, now we located the hardware here. So if I every 100 meters, take an example here and here and here and here. If you are placing a node, what is the coverage of the Wi-Fi router? Again, it is 100 meters. You can, and we can able to analyze in our academic blocks. So from one block to another block, if you are moving, we can't able to get our Wi-Fi signal, right? Again, for every 100 meters, we need to place a Wi-Fi router. So if I am placing 1000 nodes, every 100 meters, again 1000 routers I need to place. At least 500 routers. So again, the deployment wise, it is costly. But in terms of LoRaWAN, you need to ensure that for LoRaWAN, for open space, it will reach up to 7 kilometers. So for 30 acres of land, 43 acres of land, it is around 18 kilometers overall coverage. So for 18 kilometers, we are placing only 2 gateways. Okay, 2 gateways is enough to cover the entire 18 kilometers. So within that, how many nodes we deployed, we can able to get the signal. That's why LoRaWAN plays a major role in terms of open field implementation. So this is the LoRaWAN stack. LoRa modulation is the physical layer. So physical layer consists of LoRa module as well as the modulation. Then the network layer. This one is software. So LoRa MAC, that means medium access control, like access keys, and it will checking for deduplication. All these parameters will be done on the network layer, and finally our end application. Okay, but care should be taken at the physical layer, since we are just passing our information in terms of RF frequency. Here in India, it is dedicated for 865 megahertz to 867. But if you are going for US, it is 915 megahertz. If you are going for online, if you are purchasing a module, you are confused. We need to ensure that what kind of frequency we are buying. Okay, whether it is allowed in India. If you are buying 915 in India, 915 megahertz dedicated to 2G spectrum. So it should be pure violation, violating the air traffic. Okay, so this is depends upon the country specific. If you are going for Europe, it is 868 megahertz. If you are going for Australia, it is 430 megahertz, right? So care should be need in this application. So now we will go with the demonstration. Before going for demonstration, I will show another PPT, what type of module I am going to use. So this is the module I am going to use. This is LoRa. Okay, I will. So this is compatible with our existing Arduino board. These pins are compatible with our existing Arduino board. So we need to buy, in order to experiment this, we need to buy this LoRaWAN module. So after buying this LoRaWAN module, we should place on the top of our existing Arduino board. That's all. Then we need to connect one antenna. So here, this is a LoRa module, radio module. So the radio module used is SX1276. Sorry, 76. So if you are buying SX1277, it is dedicated to 433 megahertz. SX1276 is 868 as well as 915 megahertz. And we need to ensure what type of frequency we are going to buy. So our sensors, like a temperature sensor, soil moisture sensor, we can connect at the top of this board. That's all. Then here we are using LG308 by Dragino. So the gateway, what is the role of the gateway means? It will track for the LoRa packets, and it will convert into IP packets. So I will erase this one and I will go to so for practical demonstration, I will go for a things network. So in physical layer, what I have done means I had connected this one. So I taken one Arduino. Along with the Arduino, I placed the LoRaWAN shield at the top of the Arduino. Okay. Then I'm going to flash this code. This is the code developed by us. Okay. Since this is a 1 hour demo session, I can't be able to explain each and everything. Sorry for that. Okay. So initially, what I am going to do means I am going to pass this string hello C8. Okay. Here I incorporated the network session key, application session key, as well as the device address. So if you are placing multiple devices, device 1, device 2, device 3, so from which device we are getting the information, we don't know. That's why we are hard coding the values of device address, then the keys, network key and the application key. Okay. So in order to visualize that, I'm going to Things Network. I'm clicking Google and I'm Things Network. So I'm clicking on Things Network. This is based on Netherlands. So building a global open LoRaWAN network. This is a network stack. Okay. So I'm clicking here and I'm going to console. Here we have two options. One is gateway, another one is application. Okay. So through which gateway I'm going to pass the information? That the gateway, because gateway is the hardware. So after the data is acquired at the gateway, you should pass to the software. That means the software stack. Okay, that's why I'm going to map my hardware to this platform. So these are already created. So I have created my own gateway ID and gateway description, what gateway I'm using, then it is connected or not connected, and what type of frequency plan I am using. So I am using 865 to 867. That gateway will listen to this frequency information only. If you are passing 915 megahertz data, then it won't listen. Okay. Then I am generating the key, and the past 8 days it was in idle mode. So this gateway still now received 2093 messages and transmitted 11. That means from the application to the end node. Okay. So now I am going to show about application. So here I created a number of application. From here I am going to take a demo CAT, Industry Connect webinar. So I'm going to devices. So here I had created the device address, network session key, application session key. So these three keys only I am copying, and I am just hard coding these keys into my end node. That means at the physical layer. So you can see here. This is my device address 260117A0. I'm just copying, and I am just placing here, replacing. Okay. Same way I had generated my network key as well as application key in the Things Network. Then if you're going to the bottom, you can able to see the status. So how many seconds before it has been received the information. Okay, 11, 12, and after 12 it is here frames is up. That means it got one information. Now look back, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and now it is 309. Okay. So I'm going to the top of that. I'm going to click my data. What data I'm going to in program? I can able to show that what is my transmission interval. My transmission interval is 10 seconds. So at exactly 12th second, I am receiving the information, because we need to calculate the air transmission time. every 10 seconds our node will transmit the information. It has a 2 seconds of jitter delay in order to reach the destination. That means our network server. So I'm going to click on data. Here we can able to see at what time what is the packet count. So through which port I am receiving, what is the payload, that means the data length. Okay, so what information we have passed here? Here we passed a hello C80, right? But here we are getting in terms of hex. So network server will receive the information in terms of hex only. So we need to understand. After clicking that, you can able to see here. So what type of communication we have used. So what is the specific frequency we are transmitting of a signal? What is the bandwidth we have used? Bandwidth of 125 kilohertz. And what is my received signal strength? Up to minus 140, it will receive. Okay, so my gateway is in and around 1 kilometer. I was in my room. I came to my room for this demonstration in order to show the receiving strength. If I am in my office, then my received strength is around minus 55 or 40. That's all. Okay, and my latitude and longitude of my gateway. So all this information can be retrieved. Okay, then in order to receive the data, in order to view the data, I'm just copying this one, and I'm just going an online text to text converter. Just going to visualize whether we are getting the correct value or not. Just inputting the data and hex to text. Here I got my information. Hello C8. Right? But each and every time we can't be able to decode the information. For that, we have wrote another code, and I'm just copying that one. I'm going to this. Here under devices, we have an option called payload format. Since we are getting in terms of X, I'm going to remove. I am going to convert. Okay, so just I'm going to replace this payload, and I'm going to save. Now I'm going to data. I'm going to visualize. In next upcoming slot, I'm having my decoded value. Hello C8. So this is the subsequent uplinks happening. So just we need to understand this is what the network server, right? So if I am clicking on refresh, reload, what happens? So my entire data has been vanished. Please see, at most 330 counts we received the information, but 327 while refreshing 327 data has been vanished. So from 328 only we are receiving the information. Now I'm going to stress one point. Network server will route the data. It will check for the data deduplication. It will check for the correct application key and network key. That's all. But it won't store the data. If we need to store the data, then we need to go for the application server, right? So for this, this is just a string parsing. Now I will change the code to the soil moisture. So now you can able to see I cancel the string. Instead of string, I am going to pass my sensor value. Okay, so now I am getting a soil moisture of 72. Again, if I am refreshing, so my previous data has been vanished, and now I am getting the soil moisture, right? So in order to store the, since IoT is nothing but gathering the sensor data values, and for future application like a machine learning or some other deep learning, artificial neural network, we need to have a set of data what we have acquired in the past. So for acquiring the data, we need to store for the future mathematical calculation. For storing, we are going for application layer. So the application layer is nothing but you can know about the ThinkSpeak and a few other applications. In industry, we are using Evidence. So this is an IoT platform. You can go with Microsoft Azure or AWS, and all these things also possible. Microsoft Azure. So I had created my login. Here you can able to see, once I will refresh, you can able to see a few seconds ago from the network server, I am routing the data to the application server. So if I'm clicking this UI, you can able to see the soil moisture.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, can you increase your font size, sir? I found few messages.
Okay, ma'am.
Font size is very small. Yeah, yes, sir. You can proceed, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so you can able to see a few seconds ago, you can able to get your soil moisture data. So I am just clicking on soil moisture. Now you can able to see from 252 or something else page. So from 1.8 onwards, I'm getting the sensor data. So that is the graphical representation here, right? So from 1.8 onwards, 72. I am just passing a dummy data, not original sensor data, in order for demonstration. So up to 254. Even if I am clicking on reload multiple times, my data won't vanish. Okay, this is what application layer. So your network layer will check for the security issues. Then it won't store the data. Okay, what is the purpose of the application layer? Means it will store the data for the future analytics. Okay, so since it is not looking that much good, we can go with some extra creamy layer. So I'm clicking on data, dashboards. So I'm going to create a dashboard. So dashboard name is demo CIT. Just clicking on this right tick. Now I'm going to add a widget. Since I'm getting a soil moisture, I'm clicking on indicator. I'm going to add variable, which variable I need to map. So I'm mapping a soil moisture. Okay. Sorry. Metric. So after clicking the soil moisture and I'm clicking OK, then you can able to see the last value, soil moisture, and the last updated value when it is updated. So around 256. But Again, if you are refreshing, it won't lose the data, but it will show the instantaneous value. If you need to get your past value, obviously it is in terms of chart. So I am clicking on line chart, and I am going to map the same variable as soil moisture and clicking on it. That's all. So you can able to see from 1.8 onwards, I am getting the value 72. So it will show the instantaneous value. It will show the entire value. At what time onwards I switched on the node, and at what time I connected my sensor, and what is the data. Okay. So here, after getting the data, if one point of time we may not getting, if you are getting a sensor data of 0, in obviously in soil moisture after the deployment, you never get the value 0. If you are getting a value 0, then we may conclude that your sensor is not working. So how we will get your sensor is not working? So we need to create some events. So if this condition arises, then you need to get the information, like in terms of voice call, in terms of SMS, or in terms of email, like that. Or in another scenario, if my soil moisture is 80, that means dry, I need to switch on the motor. If my soil moisture is 30, then I need to switch off the motor. That is the condition. So for that, you can go for events. So create an event, select a variable. So for which variable I am going to map this condition. So value equal to, now I am going to check my soil moisture is working or not. 0 for a period of 5 minutes. This is the condition. Soil moisture value is equal to 0 for 5 minutes. So what type of action I'm going to do? So either I'm going to send an email, SMS, Telegram message, or voice call, like that. I'm clicking on voice call. I'm just picking either a girl voice or a male voice. Okay, John Salis, and which country I'm going to send an information. India. So my number 6, and this is the information. Or otherwise, I can able to change. Hey Karthik, your variable name. Variable name is nothing but soil moisture was triggered 0 at this timestamp. Okay. Then clicking on OK. So I have created trigger voice call for this number. This is my value. So I'm going to next, and I'm going to finalize. If soil moisture, then voice for all the days, all the time. Whenever you are encountering 0 value for 5 minutes, I need to get the alert. This is based on event triggering. Then this is the analytics. So analytics is nothing but doing some machine learning algorithm. That means past 1 year data we are collecting. So this can be downloaded in terms of XML or CSV file. So you may get a CSV file every day or in a particular month, like that we can be able to create. Okay. So by this I will conclude the session. I will go back to webinar jam. So if you have any queries, you can put it in the chat box so that I will answer. Small font size.
Participants, you can post your questions in the chat box.
So if you have any queries, you can post it in the chat box so that I will answer.
I don't think so, sir. Thank you, Professor, for your elaborated explanations on demonstrating LoRaWAN IoT
Thank you, ma'am.
optimization. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your explanation, sir.
So by this, I will also stop screen sharing. So thank you for your invitation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We will be looking for your future collaboration also, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am.
So thank you, participants. Thank you all. You will have only one more session in the tomorrow morning. You don't have afternoon session on the last day. In the afternoon, we will have two activities tomorrow afternoon. One is like feedback. We will share the link for feedback and multiple choice questions. You can complete those two activities before 5 p.m. tomorrow, so that the whole series will become an end. And after verifying your attendance details, and we will be able to provide you the certificates. It will take a few weeks. Kindly wait till we intimate you. Okay. And all the recorded videos will be mailed to you, or we will give the link through your mail IDs, registered mail IDs. But it will happen only after the completion of third series also, because it is repetition. We are not able to give you now itself. We will intimate you after completing the third series. Thank you, participants. Kindly join by 9:50 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thank you.